Have you ever witnessed a man single-handedly detonate his entire life because his fragile ego simply could not handle a bruised professional pride? If you have been tuning into recent events, you know exactly who we are talking about. The sheer, unadulterated audacity of Tomas Navarro is currently on full display, and it is a masterclass in self-sabotage. When professional disappointment strikes, a rational person might take a step back, reassess their strategy, and work harder to prove their worth. Tomas, however, is not a rational person. Instead of acting like the high-powered lawyer he claims to be, he is throwing a spectacular temper tantrum that is not only destroying his career prospects, but is also threatening to obliterate his romantic relationship. Let us break down exactly how a bruised male ego is causing a catastrophic ripple effect across the entire canvas. To understand the magnitude of this mess, we have to look at the catalyst, Bill Hamilton's declining health. As Bill continues to suffer from mysterious physical ailments, which we all know is the direct result of Haley Hamilton's slow burn poisoning plot, he has been forced to make some difficult decisions regarding the future of his prestigious law firm. In a move that surprised absolutely no one who understands how family dynasties work, Bill has officially presented a proposal to his daughter, Naomi Hawthorne, asking her to take over the reins of the company. Naomi has been overseeing things during his recent health crisis, keeping the ship afloat while Bill has been incapacitated. Naturally, Bill wants his legacy secured in the hands of his own blood. This decision, however, has completely crushed Tomas Navarro. Tomas has spent months, if not years, working his fingers to the bone, desperately trying to position himself as Bill's right-hand man and inevitable successor. He genuinely believed that his dedication would outweigh the simple fact of genetics. But let us be brutally honest here. Tomas thinks far too highly of his own capabilities. He possesses a staggering amount of unearned arrogance. If the roles were reversed and Tomas had built a multi-million-dollar empire from the ground up, does anyone actually believe he would hand it over to a junior partner instead of his own child? Of course not. Tomas would do exactly what Bill is doing. Yet, his blind stubbornness and inability to accept this reality are actively destroying all the hard work he has put into the firm. What makes this situation so incredibly ironic is Naomi's actual stance on the matter. Naomi has made it abundantly clear on multiple occasions that she has zero desire to join Bill's firm on a permanent basis. She has her own life, her own career aspirations, and a massive amount of personal stress dealing with her BRCA positive diagnosis and her husband Jacob's dangerous undercover police. She does not want to be the CEO of Hamilton Law. However, seeing her father's rapidly deteriorating health, Naomi feels a profound sense of duty. She cannot simply abandon him when he is so vulnerable, so she temporarily accepts the role of partner to keep the business running. But here is the ultimate twist of fate that proves just how delusional Tomas is being. Naomi is actually his biggest silent supporter. Despite Tomas's constant insubordination, his snide remarks, and his blatant disrespect toward her authority, Naomi is actively using her new position of power to advocate for him. She genuinely hopes that by stepping in temporarily, she can convince Bill to give Tomas a real chance to prove his capability and his unwavering dedication to the firm. While Tomas is busy plotting her downfall and sulking in the corners of the office, Naomi is trying to secure his professional future. Make it make sense. Unfortunately, Tomas is too blinded by his own narcissistic injury to see the grace Naomi is extending to him. Instead of having a mature conversation with his girlfriend Catherine "Cat" Richardson about his professional insecurities, Tomas decides to seek comfort elsewhere. Why doesn't he go to Cat? Well, Cat is currently preoccupied with a fierce argument with her mother, Nicole Dupree. But on a deeper psychological level, Tomas knows that Cat is a strong, independent woman who will not coddle his victim mentality. Cat would likely tell him to put on his big boy pants and get back to work. Tomas does not want a partner right now. He wants an echo chamber. He wants someone to validate his irrational anger. So, in a move that defies all logic and common sense, Tomas bypasses his girlfriend and decides to vent his frustrations to her half-sister, Eva Thomas. Yes, you read that correctly. He goes to the exact same woman he previously cheated on Cat with. The absolute lack of boundaries is staggering. Tomas tracks down Eva and proceeds to unleash a torrent of complaints, criticizing Naomi for taking his rightful place, and, shockingly, criticizing Cat for not blindly taking his side in this professional dispute. He sits there trauma dumping his bruised ego onto Eva, expecting her to stroke his hair and tell him how terribly unfair the world is treating him. Let us take a moment to analyze Eva's position in all of it. Eva is still recovering from a massive, life-saving liver transplant, a liver that was generously donated by Kat. Eva has been through hell and back, battling extreme body dysmorphia regarding her surgical scars and trying to navigate a healthy, loving relationship with her devoted boyfriend, Isaiah Hawthorne. The absolute last thing Eva wants or needs is to be dragged into the middle of Tomas's petty workplace drama, especially when it involves him bad-mouthing the sister who literally gave up a piece of her own organ to save her life. As Tomas continues to ramble on, complaining about Kat and whining about Naomi, Eva sits there, growing increasingly uncomfortable. But her discomfort quickly morphs into boiling, white-hot rage. She patiently listens to his pathetic grievances, but with every word that falls out of his mouth, she gets angrier. The sheer disrespect he is showing toward Kat is infuriating to Eva. She reaches a point where she genuinely wants to reach across the table and slap him as hard as she can, just to wake him up from his delusional stupor. But Tomas, completely oblivious to the fiery rage building in Eva's eyes, decides to take things a step further. He crosses a line so massive that it cannot be uncrossed. Seeking validation for his bruised ego, Tomas attempts to secure a win in his personal life to make up for his professional loss. He looks at Eva and tells her that if Isaiah had met her later, and if he had realized his true feelings for her earlier, he would want Eva to be his girlfriend. Pause. Let us process the sheer toxicity of that statement. Tomas is currently dating Kat. Eva is currently dating Isaiah. Tomas has already broken Kat's heart once by sleeping with Eva, a mistake that nearly destroyed their family dynamic. And now, because he is mad that Kat's cousin got a promotion over him, he tries to emotionally seduce Eva behind Kat's back. It is manipulative, it is gross, and it is the ultimate betrayal. He is actively trying to test the waters to see if Eva is still an option, treating her like a backup plan for his fragile ego. If Tomas was expecting Eva to swoon, he severely miscalculated the immense character growth Eva has undergone in recent months. The old Eva might have been swayed by the attention, but the post-transplant Eva is a completely different one. She does not just politely decline his advances. She absolutely eviscerates him. Eva snaps, unleashing a verbal takedown that is nothing short of spectacular. She looks him dead in the eye and calls him exactly what he is, a shameless, pathetic coward. Eva completely dismantles his ego by explicitly stating that her past mistake of hooking up with him is her absolute worst embarrassment. She strips away any lingering fantasy he might have had about their past connection, reducing his entire existence in her life to a horrific regret. It is a brilliant, empowering moment for Eva, proving that she values herself and her relationship with Isaiah far too much to ever entertain a toxic loser like Tomas again. But Eva does not stop there. She takes it one step further, defending the sister she used to fiercely rival. Eva tells Tomas, in no uncertain terms, that if she were in Kat's shoes, she would break up with him immediately. She points out the undeniable truth. No self-respecting woman would ever want to be with a partner who goes behind her back to badmouth her to her own family, let alone try to hit on her sister. Eva's loyalty shift here is beautiful. She and Kat may not have a perfect fairy tale sisterhood, but the bond forged by that liver transplant is real. Eva respects Kat infinitely more than she respects Tomas, and she refuses to be a pawn in his manipulative games. This entire sequence of events highlights a fascinating psychological phenomenon: self-destructive sabotage triggered by professional insecurity. Tomas felt out of control at the law firm, so he tried to exert control over Eva. When men like Tomas feel their power slipping in the boardroom, they often seek to reclaim that power in the bedroom. But his plan backfired spectacularly. Not only did he fail to secure his position at the firm, but he has now alienated Eva and put a massive ticking time bomb on his relationship with Kat. Think about the catastrophic fallout that is looming on the horizon. What happens when Kat finds out about this conversation? Because, let us be real, Eva is not going to keep this a secret forever. The moment Kat learns that Tomas went to Eva to complain about her, and then actively tried to proposition Eva, it is game over. Kat has already been hesitant about committing to Tomas, recently rejecting his public marriage proposal and clashing with him over her luxury condo purchase. This betrayal will be the final nail in the coffin of their relationship. Tomas is actively handing Kat the exact ammunition she needs to walk away for good. And What about Bill? If Bill Hamilton catches wind that his junior partner is not only throwing tantrums about Naomi's temporary promotion, but is also actively trying to cheat on his niece, Tomas's career in Fairmont Crest will be over. Bill may be struggling with his health, but he is still fiercely protective of his family. Tomas is playing a very dangerous game of Russian roulette, and he has a bullet in every single chamber. As we watch Naomi gracefully navigate the heavy burdens placed upon her shoulders, managing her father's firm, dealing with her BRCA fears, and silently advocating for a man who openly disrespects her, we cannot help but marvel at the contrast. Naomi represents strength, duty, and quiet resilience. Tomas, on the other hand, represents the destructive nature of unchecked ego and entitlement. He is the architect of his own demise, burning bridges and destroying relationships simply because he cannot handle not being the smartest, most important person in the room. So, we are left with a burning question that will undoubtedly shape the upcoming drama. When the truth inevitably comes out, will Tomas have anyone left in his corner? He has alienated his boss, disrespected his colleague, betrayed his girlfriend, and insulted her sister. When the dust settles from this monumental ego trip, Tomas Navarro is going to find himself very, very alone. And honestly, he deserves every single second of it.